Hi guys, Colby here with Monrovia unicyclists, and I said that I'd make how to ride a unicycle videos, and that's what I'm doing. So this is video number 1 of how to ride a unicycle, and basically what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you like the overview of unicycle and unicycle riding. Normally when I show people my unicycle, they kind of think to themselves like, oh, I can ride a bike, I can ride a unicycle. Well, no you can't, because a unicycle is way different than a bike in a lot of ways. So I'm going to mainly in this video show you the similarities and the differences of a unicycle and a bike. So for starters, the seat. Just working from top to bottom. The seat on a unicycle as opposed to a bike is a lot longer. This is much longer than you'd see on most bikes, if not all bikes. Okay, and then when you look at the seat, the front end is kind of fat, when normally on a bike it goes down skinnier and skinnier, where on a unicycle it's the skinniest part is actually the middle of the seat, and then the front gets fatter and the back is much fatter, and then the front, and how you can tell, I've seen whenever I show people my unicycle, normally they don't, or some people will just don't get like what is the front and what's the back. Well, it's really easy to tell, because if the front has a handle, and obviously that's the front, but the front will always have the handle. And the other way is that, same as a bike, it's going to be this front end, even though it's fat, it's still going to be skinnier than this back end. Okay? Moving on to the handle. Now, the big difference between a handle on a unicycle and a handle on a bike is first that you only put one hand on a unicycle handle. I've never seen anybody really use this for two hands, except for maybe when I was playing around or whatever. But so yeah, it's for one hand that you stick under here. And also, some unicycles, depending on what you want to do, if you're not really planning on doing tricks, then I wouldn't necessarily, if you don't want to do tricks, then I wouldn't necessarily say get one with a handle. But if you want to do tricks, you're going to want a handle, because this is what you're going to want to hold on to jump and pull your unicycle up, just kind of like if you're at a scooter, if you know what I'm talking about. And you're going to want a handle so you can hold on to this while you're jumping with your legs. I've seen a friend of mine, he has a unicycle, and his doesn't have this big handle. It's just kind of small here, and then like he grabs under. But the problem with that is that I would definitely say you're going to want a handle, because under here is bolts, and his fingers, he just kind of has to deal with touching the bolts with his fingers, so you don't want that handle. Okay. And moving on a unicycle, the seat is adjustable, kind of like a bike, but I know some bikes and some unicycles, mine's not like that. Mine, you have to use a tool to unloosen this and then move the seat up and down. You can adjust that if you want, depending on your size or whatever, or what you want to do. So I need a tool, but some unicycles have it just like a bike, where you can, actually some bikes have this too, but whatever. So, where you can move the little thing and then move it up and down. Okay? And that doesn't really matter if you want to do tricks or not, like, you can get whatever for this. Okay, moving on. Downwards. Okay, right here, this is important. If you're going to want to do tricks, and if you're not. If you're going to want to do tricks, you're definitely going to want a section right here, flat on top, right here. So let me give you an open view. Right here. You're going to want that flat. So that way you can put your feet on here once you get more advanced, and that's for tricks. Now the other style is that it's more rounded here. Well, if you're not planning on doing tricks, then it doesn't really matter. Just go with this or whatever rounded. If you're just going to be riding it, then that's fine. But if you want tricks, definitely get it where it's flat on here, like that, not rounded down. Okay, moving on to the tire. Now this tire, I'm not really sure, but I think this is more of a street tire. I used to have it where if it's more like, if it looks more like rugged, like a mountain bike tire, then that's probably an off-road and an on-road unicycle tire. But if it's kind of like more smooth, kind of like this, I'd say it's a road, or more of a road tire. I think this one might actually be both anyways, but it's not as rugged as the tire that was originally on this. My tire kind of got messed up, so I needed to get a new one after a lot of riding. Okay, moving down. Now this is the biggest, probably the biggest difference between a unicycle and a regular bike is here. Okay, so on a fixie bike, if you guys know what a fixie bike is, it's where it doesn't have, well, it has a chain, but you can't just let your feet stop. The pedals are in direct relation to the tire, and that's how a unicycle is. So if this pedal goes down, the tire is going to move with it, like that. Okay, so that way if you don't move your feet on here, the tire is not going anywhere. That's really a big difference between a bike and a unicycle. On a bike, you could go and just keep on rolling, your feet won't move. On a unicycle, your feet are always going to be moving whenever the tire is moving. Okay. And for this first video on how to ride a unicycle, I'm going to say that a unicycle is a lot about balance. But once you get it clicked in your mind, which hopefully after I teach you guys, hopefully I'll stay up with these videos and keep up with them to teach you. You'll kind of get it in your head, kind of like a bike. When you're first on a bike, you feel like awkward and wobbly, and most people start with training wheels. But then it clicks in your mind, and like you'll always be able to be riding a bike. So for a unicycle, I think it's pretty much the same way. First, it takes a bit longer than a bike, I'd say, but then once it clicks in your head, you can just ride it. So thanks for watching. Please watch my other how to ride a unicycle videos, which will be soon to come, or hopefully soon to come. Thanks, and bye-bye.